And coming your way next, we have our popular segment called Who's Who. This is magnificently displayed here by a famous gentleman in this community. His good name is Mr. Sonny Segal. He is the CIO of Montgomery County, Maryland. Today, Mr. Segal has invited an interesting guest onto the screen. Her name is Veena Pandiri. She is the founder, an instructor, and CEO of a music institute called Notes and Beats. Apparently, this is the only music school of this type in Northern Virginia. Let's hear all about this institute.
Welcome to the Who's Who Show. This is your host, Sonny Segal. Today, my guest is going to demonstrate and illustrate to us how culture is quite the bridge between communities here in the Washington, D.C. region, in the country, and around the world. Our guest is none other than Veena Pandiri. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Veena, you are the founder and the CEO of a well-known cultural academy. Actually, it's an academy of performing arts known as Notes and Beats.
That's right.
And you've grown the business into multiple locations.
Yes, a couple of locations, yes.
I see. Yes. The Loudoun Times actually quoted you as saying that you have a passion for cultivating in young people an understanding of music and dance. Can you talk about that a little bit? Tell us about your background as well, please.
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Veena Pandiri, and like many others who have hailed from India, I came as well several years back to do my master's in computer engineering. I graduated from the University of Cincinnati, and like all others, I did a technology job for several years, over 15 years. I've done different things, all the way from programming to project management and product management in both big corporations as well as a startup. Then 2 years back, I had made the decision to quit that altogether and pursue my passion, which had accidentally emerged over the last 10 years. I'd always been singing growing up, but never really thought that would become my lifetime career. I had been singing both Indian classical music as well as cinema songs, like the Bollywood songs, Asha Bhonsle and Lata Mangeshkar. But over here, when I had my daughter, my mom, who sings for the radio and a very accomplished singer, she started teaching some neighborhood children, and she went back to India. I said, hey, what the heck, let me just try this out. And I absolutely fell in love with teaching.
And you were filling in for her?
I was just filling in for her, just taking it on. This was 10 years back, and I absolutely loved seeing the connection between the children who are born and raised here and being able to kind of show them what it is that we grew up with back in India. So that was a really very rewarding experience for me, as well as the teaching part of it. To see the children grow from one to the other was extremely important as I was doing it. And then finally, 2 years back, I said, I really want to take this on because this is just absolutely what I want to do, and I quit my tech job to do this full time at this point. So we now have a couple of different locations in Ashburn and South Riding, and it has evolved from being a completely Indian classical music to now doing it's not essentially fusion, but bringing the mix of the depths of Indian classical music into the harmonies of the Western music. Both tremendously rich cultures in music, and to be able to find things that actually blend with each other, both in the sense of music and also in the sense of the children who are raised here, both Indian children as well as non-Indians. Bringing it all together is a fabulous experience for me. It's extremely rewarding. And we have been doing really well. We do a lot of camps and classes year-round, both in Indian classical, Western classical, in voice, piano, guitar, drums. We do a rock band. We do ensembles in guitar and piano. Our children have grown tremendously over the last 3-4 years. Now they are coming to a point where they are really turning out to be very solid singers or solid pianists and solid guitarists, and we are able to do a lot more fun stuff with them.
Wow, that is very interesting. And so, is there a significance then, or did you just explain how the name came to be?
Oh, the Notes and Beats?
Notes and Beats.
It's very simple. Notes and beats. It's the music notes combined with the rhythm, which is kind of like the heartbeat of the central, the core point of the music around. So it's a simple culmination of the two of them. So notes and beats.
You know, I'm curious. I'm not that much talented to be, performing.
Okay.
But are the notes and beats totally universal? In other words, one can read the music, which may be from Bollywood, and read it if it was from Hollywood or one of our
Awesome
genres?
question. It's awesome question. Yeah, so that's the beauty of the curriculum that Western classical music has laid out for us. So what we do at Notes and Beats is we start out most of the children who are not enrolled per se into the strict Indian classical music. So for everybody else, we start with Western classical music. That gives us a structure to how to read the music. It talks about the music theory and the techniques and everything. So once you learn those basics, it lays a very strong foundation for the children.
I see.
At that point, after like a few months and then of course years and so forth, they can translate that to any music. Indian music, Bollywood music, of course, rock and pop, which is, I'm very passionate about rock music. I grew up listening to it, so we do a lot of rock in the school. Now the best part is these kids who have become good singers in Indian classical music and also learning the piano in Western classical music style are now able to do fusion music, and we are putting the two together, and we have some very cool things that we are actually working on. Our teachers are arranging music that bring both of these musics together, and we are training for that, and we'll be performing them. In fact, in the next couple months, it's going to be out.
Wow, and a little bit later, I want to know about the events that are coming up, because our viewers will definitely benefit
Awesome.
from knowing that. So in this type of training, do the students actually evolve in ways beyond learning to read music?
Again, a wonderful question. That is such an important thing, and I don't think it's necessarily just to do with music, but any performing arts for that matter, or even sports. I mean, I love sports too. But the point that you brought up, which is, it's a wholesome experience. It's by learning music, by being able to work with others, they develop teamwork. Just on having to put them on stage and having to perform for somebody else, huge amount of confidence. They need to have that sense of presence and be able to express themselves in front of a big crowd is something, and they do that. So our programs are built around these three structures. One is confidence, creativity, just on account of doing music and arranging different forms and so forth, plus the teamwork. These three are evident in almost every session that we see with the kids. It's amazing how they evolve to be so much more creative and so much more all-round personalities. Specifically, I've seen kids who come for camp at the beginning of the camp. In about 2 months, they bring a group of kids together. They sing, they say, okay, let's write some music together.
Really composing.
And they compose really cute, funny stuff. I mean, it's in there at the 9-10-year-old age, and all the silly things that they do. Then they say, okay, let's just do some drums with it, and they do it all together. It's just amazing how the creativity comes through and how they start being leaders of their own groups.
Does that carry over into their performance at school, as an example?
So different ways. True, it has a direct impact on how they perform in music, but there is also a very indirect impact, and there has been a lot of research supporting that, to state that music actually stimulates the brain in such a way, the neurons and all the the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain have to work together in order to produce music. So it's not just learning it, but able to play it. So your motor skills and your sense of rhythm and the timing, and there's a lot of math involved in it. All these things, it's like a workout. That's what some of the TED Talks, if you get a chance, you should watch them. Just search for how music influences a personality, TED Talk. Anita Collins, she talks about how it's a full workout of the brain, where it is completely engaged. And I've started picking up an instrument. I'm a classical singer, but I have started picking up an instrument myself. And I don't know, I mean, as I grow older, I think I have developed a form of ADD. It's very hard for me to focus on one thing. Maybe it's being a mom, I don't know. But when I sit down for my piano rehearsal, before I know it, 20 minutes have passed. And I'm like shocked to realize that, oh my God, I really had to zone in. I really had to put my entire brain in order to do it. And that's exactly what we see in children. So it's just amazing what music can do.
So the ability to sort of mobilize all the faculties and to concentrate, those things may be happening, right?
Absolutely. So focus and discipline and so forth.
So what ages, can enroll in the academy in Notes and Beats?
We have different programs for different age groups. So our youngest child is 4, but for the 4-year-old, we have created a whole new program called Early Notes and Beats. It's much more hands-on, much more active, much more on the feet. So it's still a lot of music. But then
for the older,
the oldest we have is 56.
Oh, 56.
Yes.
Oh, so it's not just for children.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
Are,
I'm a student of Notes and Beats too. I learned the piano, and I'm not a kid anymore. I wish I was, but.
Okay, yeah. So this is of interest beyond, just parents.
Yes.
Yeah, even grandparents.
Yes, I think it's just music in any form. It's just absolutely amazing. I almost now I believe that it's absolutely essential for anybody. I don't mean to sound pompous or anything, but I think it's absolutely essential. It has a great deal of benefit for anybody at any age to pick any form of art, really.
I see. And so where do they perform? Are there events coming up?
Yes, yes.
And what scale are they? And are they public?
Yes, they are actually very, very excited. And and in fact, I'm just coming from a band rehearsal. We got an invitation to perform in One Loudoun, which is one of the upcoming communities in the Loudoun County. And they were very kind to give a school like ours with young children an opportunity to go up on stage to the public venue. They're expecting 3,000 people that day, and we have a full 1-hour slot. So that means a lot of songs. So we are doing band, and we are doing ensemble and some singing with tracks and things like that. And our recitals are very big every year. So we have our recitals coming up on 3rd and 4th this year in June.
I see.
So every child, young and old, gets to perform there. And it's again open to the public. And we have performances throughout the year, different Indian festivals, Diwali, Ugadi, and Dashara, and etc. We get opportunities to perform, and kids love it.
So those are the events you just mentioned. You actually reserve a venue, and then plan the event there.
Yes. There's a whole lot of event planning going on.
With hundreds of people.
Hundreds of people, and we have a sound engineer, a videographer, etc.
What are the accolades that some of the students have won? Have they moved on to?
Yes, so
higher levels.
Yeah, so like I said, over the last 1.5 years, we've seen the kids, grow into their own areas. They've been learning for a few years now, and a couple of the boys like Tarun Donpati and Karthik Jayanti, they have won first and second places in singing competitions across the nation. These are Indian music competitions, but they've placed themselves first and second. We just came to know yesterday that one of the other boys, John Yap, he cleared his first round in The Voice by NBC, so I'm super excited about it. A few of the kids have cleared their piano board exams, and some of them are going for their guitar board exams as well.
How is Notes and Beats benefiting the community? Sorry, we're sort of running out of time now.
It's okay. I'll wrap it up real quickly. So Notes and Beats, of course, we, in terms of how we are plugged into the community, we have Indian teachers, we have non-Indian teachers at our school, we have Indian students, non-Indian students, all kinds of ethnicities we support and we encourage at the academy. We also have fundraising events, and we give back to a couple of nonprofit organizations that our team is passionate about. Excuse me. One of them is Life with Cancer, and the other one is Asha Jyoti. So we have been working with them pretty closely to give back some of the funds that we raise.
Wow, what a business model! Actually, hearing about Notes and Beats, actually gets me so enthusiastic about visiting your website, coming to the events.
Studio.
Thank you for being on the show today.
You're very welcome. Thanks
This
for the
is your-
opportunity.
You're welcome. This is your host, Sonny Segal, signing off on the Who's Who show. I hope to see you again next month at the same place and the same time.